The exam was on Wednesday, and on Monday or Tuesday, I started to feel a little sick. I also got a fever. Everybody has to find a way to keep themselves motivated.
Your point of motivation, right? So everyone has a different point of motivation. So students, find your motivation. One Indian dish you will miss the most. It can be
Rajma rice, I think. I'll miss them.
Hello everyone, welcome to PW IELTS Prep, where we deep dive into the journey of ambitious students who have conquered the IELTS exam and are planning to study abroad and fulfilling their dreams. Today, we have a special guest with us who has recently got admission in the Royal College of Arts in London. Let's hear her incredible story and how did she got admission into Royal College of Arts and how did she actually prepare for study abroad as well as for the IELTS exam. Welcome Ashmita Mehta. We are thrilled to have you with us.
I'm thrilled to be here as well.
Great. So Ashmita, let's start with your brief introduction. Can you just tell us about yourself and your academic background as well?
Sure. So, hi, I'm Asmita Mehta. I belong from Rohtak, Haryana. I recently graduated from IIT Delhi. I was pursuing BTech in Textile and Fiber Engineering with a minor degree in design. And this was my first time taking an IELTS exam or a TOEFL exam for that matter. This was the first time I appeared for an English exam. And my education has been in English, but as in daily life, we don't really talk in English. We talk in Hindi or our regional languages. So it was a bit new and challenging to be preparing for this.
Right. So I can say English was never your colloquial language, right?
Yeah, it wasn't. I speak in Hindi with my friends or my family. So yeah.
In India, we majorly go with Hindi, especially the North Indian part and North Indian states. Okay. So let's go with the motivation part because our audience, first of all, they need motivation, right? So what motivated you to study abroad and pursue your master's degree in UK and specifically from Royal College of Arts in London?
Yeah, definitely. So since I was a child, I was seeing these movies about in US, set in US or Europe. So I was fascinated about the idea of going abroad. But then I cracked JEE and I came into IIT. And then I saw my seniors as well pursuing masters abroad, higher education abroad. And then I explored different fields, what I want to do in my life. And then design came up. Somehow I pursued some research internships in design and then I started looking out for programs as well. And as I mentioned, I have been doing a minor degree from Department of Design at IIT Delhi itself. So I was looking for programs that offer me something more than that because those courses I was doing with students from MDes only. So that's the same level that I was at. And then I found this program at Royal College of Art. It's called Design Futures program. Okay. And it focuses on maybe solving complex problems using tools and methods that I'll be learning throughout the program. And I also searched for programs in US or in Canada or Europe. But then this was the program that spoke most to me. And yeah, here I am.
Great. In your stage, we should admit that we are still in that exploratory stage where we explore things, what is best suited for us, and till we find the right fit for us, right? So I think we should move on to the next question. And my next question will be, what led you to choose IELTS over other exams, as universities offer admission without IELTS as well?
Yeah. So there are, it's very different for different universities. Some universities also offer a waiver. So that is one thing you should definitely check when you're applying. You can get it written by your college that you have completed your degree in English and they'll offer you a waiver. But for this specific college, I mailed to them, confirmed them that is it only IELTS that you will accept. And yeah, they said that only we accept IELTS. So I had to take both the exams, though TOEFL and IELTS, because some universities in US, for example, Stanford, only accepts TOEFL for my program. So I had to take both the exams. I took them in October last year. Yeah, and I had to do that to get admission there.
Got it. That's really great. In your offline conversation when we had actually, so you said that you were sick. You got really sick that time before the examination.
Yeah.
So our viewers, they really want to know what happened and how you actually cope up with that sort of mindset. When you are sick, you feel that I shouldn't give the exam today. So please share that experience as well.
So my TOEFL exam was on, I remember the dates as well. It was on 18th October, and my IELTS exam was booked for the next week. You have to book these exams prior, right? So it was booked for 25th. So my TOEFL exam went all right. It was great. I scored 108 out of 120. And then because you have to prepare a little bit different, because in IELTS you have speaking test as well, and you have the pattern of writing is also different. So I was focusing on that, but on the exam was on Wednesday, and on Monday or Tuesday I started to feel a little sick. I also got a fever, and then I just popped in a paracetamol at night and I slept. I didn't tell my parents about it because they'll not allow me to take the exam. Yeah. So I was just like, I'll get it over with. And because I've also paid a lot of money, and you can't, the rescheduling also requires money, and then you'll get delayed on applications as well. So I went and I took the exam. The speaking was fine. The lady was very nice as well. And yeah, it went well, I think.
That's really great. I will say managing a balance, because you said you only had a gap between both examination, right? And managing that balance, both have different, I will say, modules. IELTS has a speaking module, like you said. So managing that balance is really a challenge, and you have already scored really well in your examination. And I think all the viewers who are seeing this podcast will get inspired, right? So moving on to the next question, I will say, when you first decided to take the IELTS exam, what were your initial thoughts? Were you sort of nervous, excited, or it was a mix of both?
Yeah, so I've heard stories of people who are preparing maybe for years and they can't get a good score. So I was also a bit tense, like what if I know how to read English but I can't convert that into the exam, and I just panic or something. But that's where the preparation journey comes in. You practice and you have these mock sessions with your experts as well, and you give the mock test, you get reviews on your writing as well. So that is really important. If you're good at English, that's nice, but if you're not preparing for the format of the exam, you're not preparing how to perform well in the exam, you'll not score well, right? So it doesn't matter what your current level of English is. So I was also I was pretty confident about my English, but I also knew that if I don't prepare well, I won't be able to convert that score.
You won't be able to score 8.5, right? And also, I just want to know, English was never your first language, right? Yeah. It was not that colloquial.
Yeah, right. But I've been into watching movies or series in English, so I think that really helps when you're developing your vocabulary.
Right. So it actually paid off.
Yeah.
Some way or the other. Right. So my next question will be, you prepared from PW IELTS Prep, right? So what did you like the most about this course or the curriculum that PW IELTS Prep or we provided? And there are many competitors, I will say many organizations out there who definitely guarantee, but somewhere down the line, they are not able to deliver. What do you like about PW IELTS Prep specifically, I will say?
Yeah, so it's most importantly the focus on individual students, you understand their journey and their background and in which area they need the most help, because some people might be good at reading but not so some people might be good at reading but not listening. So where you need help, it's not, you can generalize a curriculum for everyone. And apart from that, there are many common mistakes that students make about maybe not knowing the format correctly, and they're overconfident, and there were many resources to help with that as well.
That's really great. So I will say indirectly you promoted us but still we are fine with it. Okay. Now let's deep dive into your IELTS preparation specifically because you really scored well. So our viewers, they will be majorly interested. How did you prepare? That too with a great band score, right? My question will be, what is the most surprising thing you first discovered about IELTS examination? And when you just got to know about IELTS examination, what was the most surprising thing you got to know about this examination?
Yeah, so the most surprising thing for me was that there would be a person checking my speaking skills because that in-person conversation, I didn't have that experience before that anyone is judging me when I'm talking to them in English. So that was that can be quite overwhelming for some students as well if they lack the skill of communicating. So I think that was the most surprising thing, and that's what you should be like aware of and work towards. Yeah.
And in our I will say in day-to-day cases, we don't speak that sort of English. वो कुछ हम लोग, vocab, we grammatical errors, we even speak some wrong vocabulary, right? Wrong grammar as well. But when you are in speaking, when you are giving that test, you are conscious with that effort. And I think that was the most surprising factor for you, right? I just want to know, what was your module-wise score?
It was a 9 for both reading and listening, and 7.5 for writing and speaking.
So you were consistent, 9 and 7.5. That's great. And that watching movies and that paid off, right? That's really great. Okay. Now I will just, like we already said, for the day-to-day preparation, I just want to know, can you describe a typical day in your life while preparing for the IELTS examination? How did you balance your commitments? Like you were already a student in IIT, right? But student, I will say, don't judge her, but that she's already brilliant. She can easily score. But that's a different perspective. This is a language proficiency test, and that is a technical part of it, right? So how did you balance both things?
So that totally depends on what level you are on. Some students require to put in maybe hours of work and weeks or months or even of work. But for me, it was not that, because I was already studying in English medium at college and at school. So I had basic understanding of grammar and vocabulary. The main challenging part for me was speaking, as I said. So reading and listening, I was confident about. Writing also a little bit, because now we have been into this texting and everything. So we just write it like shortly, and we use acronyms a lot. So you can't do that there as well. Another thing was, you can't mix up American English and British English. So if you're using one spelling, you have to stick with that. So these were some of the nitty-gritties that I learned from experts here as well, and I focused on. And then for speaking and writing, I practiced a lot. I started speaking in English with my friends, and I did that. And for writing also, I started writing, and I got it reviewed from a lot of people. Even if there was nobody available, I would put into ChatGPT and ask if it's, how would you rate my essay on 5? So I did that as well. So I put in a lot of efforts with my college during that time.
So I think the AI revolution is actually helping us in a positive aspect, right? It helped for you, right? Great. Now, I will say let's focus on the resource utilization. Many of the students will be asking you what sort of resources you actually, which actually helped you. So my next question will be focusing on that, right? What were some of the key resources you had, or the materials that you found most helpful in your preparation?
Yeah, so there are a lot of videos and articles on the internet as well, but it's a task to scroll them and find. Even when you have such short time, you can't go through everything and see what will work for you. You have to trust somewhere, and you have to walk with someone who has experience there as well. And there are videos, but you can't obviously practice speaking with them because they are pre-recorded videos, and you can't practice that, and which is the one thing that, as you mentioned, most people struggle with. So you need someone who will mentor you, who will guide you during that speaking session. So I had that resource at my hand with PW IELTS Prep. And apart from that, writing as well, as I mentioned, I used AI when it's not that trustable. You need someone as well to guide you that if you're writing it correctly or not, what needs to be done. Reading and listening, you can practice, but you need definitely some sources to practice from, because reading you may find, but listening is very difficult to find the correct sources, correct materials to practice from.
Got it. So I will say this to our viewers and all the students out there. Just you need the right guidance and the right study materials. They play a very important role, right? And this actually helped her to score that band 8.5. So you should get the right guidance and the right study material. I think we already are providing that, which actually helped Ashmita with that, with her preparation. Okay. Now, many of the students will be saying that, sir, we all have different difficulties. Now my focus will be on that part. How did you overcome on that sort of difficulty? The next question will be like on that only. So, like I'm again reiterating, you already got a band 8.5, and which is actually considered extremely difficult, right? And in IELTS, specifically, I will say for the academic part, right? So what sections did you focus? What were, you already, like you said, 7.5 in listening and reading.
9 in listening and reading.
My bad.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go module wise, right? So my next question will be section specific, right? And let's take the speaking section first. Cool. The speaking section can be particularly daunting for many of the students, right? Did you feel nervous during your speaking or when you were sitting in front of the examiner? What was your reaction?
Yeah, so a speaking section is different for TOEFL and IELTS. So in TOEFL, you speak into a microphone, but in IELTS, you speak with a person. So it's different, and you can choose based on your comfortability what you want to do. But that is also a con of the TOEFL test, because when everyone else is speaking, it's disturbing you as well. So I would personally suggest taking IELTS exam over TOEFL exam. And now moving to the speaking section here. So there is I don't know who that person is. I think she's a professor or something, but that lady was sitting right in front of me, and she, we just introduced, and there is also a recording device here.
Right.
So she will record the conversation, and she can't help you obviously because it's recording. And she has a list of questions with her. Yeah. Right. And so it can be pretty challenging and pretty overwhelming for to sit there, but yeah. And then she started asking questions. So once you go into that, don't think about the question that you answered earlier. Just focus on what is being asked. It happened with me also that she asked something, and I didn't read the next part. So I was just focusing on that. So she hinted me a little, and then I answered that as well. So there, focus on what is being asked, frame your answers around that. It's okay to hesitate. They also know that this is not your first language, and they will know that this is you are also trying. So they'll not maybe pressurize you or daunt you, but they also want to listen to you. So just focus on your answer, frame your answer well, and speak. Yeah.
That's really great. So I will say this to all our students: focus on being yourself, right? And also focus. Don't get. Don't get conscious. Just be yourself.
I'll add on to this. So she asked questions about. Their questions were about what would you gift your friends as a present? Do you like tea or coffee more? So if you go into your brain and start thinking what is the best answer, that won't work. You just have to speak, right? What is on your mind and what is the truth. So
that's really great. And specifically, students will be, I think they will be re-watching this section particularly, how it actually helped. Right. So moving on to the other modules, let's now focus on the listening section. Listening can be tricky. We all know that, given the audio is played only once, right? What strategies did you find most effective for the listening section?
Yeah, sure. Here also I would love to compare TOEFL and IELTS, because for TOEFL, once the recording is played, then you see the questions. So you have to listen to the whole recording and then write notes and then answer the questions. But in IELTS, you can see the questions beforehand, and then you can listen. So you know what you are listening for. So that's also a plus point for IELTS and why you should choose IELTS over TOEFL. And then the questions were on the screen. So I just quickly went through all the questions. What should I listen for? And then the recording is played. And if you miss something, I also missed something in the real exam. But it's okay. You should move forward. That because you will keep on remembering what was said, and then you mix the next thing also.
And you get coaches as well.
Yeah. So just if you missed a question, it's fine. Just move on to the next question and listen. And then there is one whole question, then you move on to the next. So don't think about the previous one because you can't do anything about it. Yeah. So that is the only advice. Just listen carefully. Do not get distracted by your surroundings, what everybody else is doing. Just focus on your screen.
Got it. So I think your practice, you have attempted lot many mock tests, which actually helped you in your getting that good score, right? So students, I will say, focus on the present and give as many mocks as you can, right? So now moving on to the reading section. The reading section is often a race against time. Many people say it, right? How did you actually manage to complete it within the time limit without compromising on your accuracy?
Yeah, so when I was practicing mock tests, the first mock test I gave, I was very much panicking around. I was moving between reading comprehensions. I was reading one, then moving to the other one. I was just somehow I could attempt more, but that's not how you do it. Firstly, you read and focus on one comprehension, because if you mix it up, then you'll get confused as well. So just focus on one, start by the beginning, don't maybe switch around a lot, and focus on one. And then if you don't get an answer, just leave it, come back for it later, but don't mix everything up. So I think that would be my advice. Focus on one, attempt the easy questions obviously first, which you're confident about, and mark them or something which you're unsure of. And because there's no negative marking, right? So you can definitely attempt all the questions, but just focus on ones which you're confident about, then move to the next passage and then come back again.
So I will say all the students, focus on your best part, which you are confident at, because some of the paragraphs or the questions are really tricky, and they're actually there in that section just to deviate you or boost you down, delay you, right? Or pull you down, I will say. And you actually tackle that in a very smart manner. That's really great. Now let's move on to the writing section. What techniques did you use to enhance your writing skills for the IELTS exam, especially for the essay and report writing task, and within that, word count and ideation?
Yeah. So I made some pointers in the paper that I'm provided. Like whenever I was given, that was the thing that I did during the exam. I wrote some main pointers which I want to cover in the essay, because once you are in there, you might miss out on a few points. So first thing is just outline all of that. And for the report writing, there are a lot of formats that can be asked. There can be graphs, there can be maps. So just maybe practice a lot, different types of questions. It's not that difficult once you understand how you want to put your words. There are so many keywords, there are so many words or phrases that you can use. So they are all available in the study material, so you can just go through them and learn them. Maybe I learned certain verbs that I wanted to use to make my answer more engaging, more fancy, I would say.
Did you use idioms or any phrases in your writing?
I didn't push idioms when they were not required, but if something was very obvious to put there, so I did. And by practicing also, if it's you are definitely writing that answer, so you can judge your answer. So I got it reviewed from many experts, from ChatGPT as well. But yeah, so you should get it reviewed by your friends. It is making sense.
Of course,
Yeah.
your mentors, right?
Yeah, your mentors,
Did you
definitely.
help me with that?
Yeah, I mentioned.
ChatGPT, better with that.
Yeah, definitely, because ChatGPT is just an AI model.
It doesn't give you the exact
And
score.
yeah, it's not an expert, definitely. So the experts in the field who know how the answers are being judged, so they would provide the insights, like the experts here at PW IELTS Prep. And apart from that, because whenever you are writing, it would definitely make sense to you. But is it making sense to the examiner? Is it making sense to someone who's judging? So that's the important thing.
Got it. That's really great. you were natural with your writing style as well, right? And you cannot fake anything which you are not. And the examiner, they easily judge you.
If you're forcing some
Idioms and phrases which is not learned. So they judge you, yeah, this is fake, this is not true. And that pulls you down again, right? And we have completed all the things, modules and everything. Now let's focus on the major thing, strategy and tips, right? And our audience will be very much engaged, and they will be feeling some strategy and tips, that too from 8.5 band score. Okay, now let's focus. Now my next question will be, were there any specific techniques or strategies that you found particularly effective in boosting your IELTS preparation?
Yeah, so the first thing I would recommend, and that I also did, was take an exam, take a mock exam, and identify where you need work. So it's not that you might want to put equal hours into reading, into listening, into writing, into speaking. Just put in work, like do that smartly. Don't do it like hard work only pays off if you are smart about it. Right. So do it smartly, do where you need work. If you're scoring very good in reading, then don't put much effort if you're lacking somewhere, because many colleges also have this a baseline score that you need for different sections as well. So if you can't clear a baseline score for speaking, you won't get into that college. So you need to prepare equally for everything. So the first advice is that just know what level you are standing and where you need work. Then find out the resources. As PW IELTS Prep has all resources together in one place, so it is a very great option to go for, because otherwise you have to put in a lot of effort as well, finding resources, finding materials, questions, people who can guide you, who can mentor you. And the next step is that, and then you just start pushing in, making your timetable, to how many hours are you going to put it. And yeah, then you go and have the exam.
That's really great. So just to give you the gist, students, I will say, focus on your strengths as well as your weaknesses. You should identify your strengths, what are your strengths, and your weaknesses. Work on the weaknesses part, the weakness part. And then, of course, you will be working on the strength part as well. But don't make it, don't say that I will be focusing completely on your weaknesses. You should maintain a balance as well, right? Great. That's really a great advice. And that I think this will be a great strategy for our students who are planning to give the IELTS exam, whether they are working professionals or academic students or want to study abroad, right? Now, I think many students, they feel demotivated. Why? Because this is a very tough examination and it has an intense preparation, right? So there are times when they feel demotivated, I won't be able to make it, right? It must have struck you as well. My next question will be on that, right? Staying motivated, like I said, is crucial for such an intense examination. What kept you motivated throughout your preparation?
This question is asked by my JEE audience as well, because they are also preparing for 2 years or 3 years, and they also sometimes lose motivation, and because it's uncertain, like you don't know. There's a lot of people who are appearing for the exams, and it's uncertain if you'll get into a college as well, and then you're preparing for this exam as well. So it is there sometimes, but for me personally, I journal a lot. So I write down my feelings, and then you don't overthink and you are calm and composed and you can focus. So maybe you can try writing it down. Maybe you can have posters in your room about your dream college or country or something. Everybody has to find a way to keep themselves motivated. Maybe talking to your friends can help you get that back, and talking to your teachers, talking to your mentors can bring it back. So you have to find definitely one thing.
Your point of motivation, right? So everyone has a different point of motivation. So students, find your motivation.
And why were you doing this in the first place?
Right,
think about that.
Right. I think you are a quite good motivator, I must say. Great. Now let's go to some sort of insights and advices. You already have shared your suggestions. Now we need your insights and advice to all the students who are planning to give this examination. How did mock test play a pivotal role in your preparation? Or did it play a pivotal role in the first place? And how did you track your progress in your IELTS preparation journey?
So mock tests are definitely a great way to prepare yourself for the exam, because even if I was just studying, it's not the actual exam is something else. So you can't just study and just think like, yeah, I'll just perform there. You can't. You have to practice it beforehand. You have to maintain that 2-3 hours sittings, because some people, even if you're working, or if you're maybe you haven't been in touch with that, so you haven't been sitting for 2 hours and working on something. So mock tests are a great way definitely to recreate that exam setting. And mock test you should practice definitely before the exam a lot, and also analyze them. Also, the analysis part is most important. If you are just taking tests and you're not thinking where I'm going wrong, what I'm doing wrong, you will not improve. You will just stay there. So analyzing is very important. So I used to like see what questions I have gotten wrong and why was I not 100% focused, or do I not know meaning? Do I not know the meaning of something?
True.
Or something like that? So just think about every question that you've done wrong. There are also questions that you guessed and they were right. So think about them also, that you got them right then, but you might not get in future. So think about all such type of scenarios and questions.
Got it. So for our viewers, I will just give the gist. So you have to attempt the mock test as much as possible. Again, I'm reiterating this, right? So mock test will only give you the reality check, right? To identify, which will help you identify your strengths and weakness, which actually help her, right? So these are, I will say, one of the most important things that you have to do in your preparation. Now, let's move on to the advice. For other students who are currently preparing for IELTS examination, what are some of the top tips you would like to give? Now you're an expert. We are considering you an expert. Give us some tips to our students and all students who are watching this video.
So first thing is definitely practice a lot of questions, a lot of different types of questions, because there are different types, like maybe match the following, paragraphs. So get yourself familiar with all the different types of questions that are asked. Right. So you're not like stumbled in the actual exam key, what is this? You know, like this will come. And in the writing section as well, there are a lot of there are graphs. So some students might have fear of graphs or something. They're not that technical. They're just analyzing your critical thinking. So first thing is getting yourself familiarizing with the
with the structure.
Yeah, structure and the format of the exam. As I also mentioned, like earlier as well, that even if you're good at English, if you don't know the format, you will not succeed.
You will not get a result.
Yeah. So do that. Familiarize yourself first of all. Then get good study materials. Start working on them. Don't get disheartened if you're not good at one section. It is okay, and like people do learn different languages. I also learned English. It was not something that I was born with. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not that difficult to learn a new language, and English is not that difficult as well to learn as well, because people around us and there are cinema and everything around us that is in English. So it's not that difficult. Don't get disheartened if you're weak somewhere. Work on it. You definitely can get help from here. The best mentors, they can help you work on it. Yeah, and that is it. Just stay confident, because if you're just practice more, that will also help you stay confident as well if you're practicing. Because when I was starting, I felt like maybe I'll just panic in the exam, maybe I'll not be able to solve. What if the questions are so difficult? What if others around me are doing great and I would? But when you practice the questions and you're able to score, so you see, okay, I can also do this. So just practice, and that will instill the confidence, and you'll be speaking.
Oh, I got this, yes.
Yeah, do that. Pat your own back.
Yeah, you have to motivate yourself. I think you are an inspiration to our audience, right? What I feel, you are very grounded as well, of course, right? But you have been an inspiration so far, the conversation that we have done so far, right? I think our audience is feeling the same.
Hopefully.
Great. Now, move on to the next part. Now, let's focus on the results. What was your reaction when you saw that you got a band 8.5?
Yeah, so I had my TOEFL scores come out earlier, which were 108. So I was happy with them. I was scoring for 110 plus, but it was okay. I cleared the criteria for different colleges. And then my IELTS results was about to come, and I was thinking, okay, I was sick as well, so it's fine if I got maybe a 7 or 8, so it will be fine. I'll qualify because the band required was 6. So I was hopeful, but then it came and I got 8.5, so which I was pretty excited about. Yeah, and my friends were also sharing memes with them. It said 8.5 IELTS, so somebody was speaking in English. So yeah, so my friends were also excited. I also told my parents about it. So they were also very happy about it, and I said that it won't.
They must be in the cloud nine.
Yeah, they were. I was like, it doesn't guarantee me an admission, but they were like, okay, it's the first step, which you have done great. So yeah, there was.
First, I think you were the person who pat on your back, and everyone else did, right? Yeah. That's really great. That's really great, I would say. Now let's go to the admission part. I know the video is getting lengthy, but we will cover all the aspects because this is that one video which will give you the complete solution, right? So, what do you think your IELTS score influenced admission to the Royal College of Arts in London?
Yeah, so I think the university's websites definitely mention that this is the baseline that you have to cross. But if you have good scores in IELTS, that definitely adds to your application. It obviously isn't the core, but it obviously adds to it. And if you submit your other materials and maybe two candidates are almost equal, and they might check your scores and they might see, this candidate also has better English as well, so they might do better in the country as well, and they are like studious and they are focused on everything that they do, so it showcases that you are good at everything that you do, so it definitely adds value to it. I think
you got an edge with 8.5 band, right? That's really great. So give your best, and we are there for you, right? Now let's focus on the next question. Is there any scholarship applicable for the higher band score or for IELTS band scorers? Any scholarship you get with high band scorers for getting a high band?
There are some scholarships that are offered by British Council, but I think I missed the deadlines for them. I wasn't. Not a problem. Yeah, but you definitely can check out scholarships offered by British Council and all of that. It might also, while I was applying to other scholarships, everybody asked about your IELTS score or your TOEFL score. So it definitely carries a weightage when you're applying for scholarships.
Got it. Now, students, let's focus to the most exciting part that I was awaiting for a long time. Rapid fire. Are you ready? Yeah. Great. The questions will be easy, of course. Okay. So I will be quickly asking you questions, and you have to just, without thinking much, you have to give the answer. Favorite study snack?
I eat these peri makhanas that my nani makes. So yeah.
Got it. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
Night owl?
Yeah.
I think majority of the students or intelligent people, they are night owl.
Yeah, my mother says that I am adjusting to the UK time zone. I'm waking up at night. Yeah.
I guess someone will not have a jet lag.
Hopefully.
Great. One word to describe your IELTS preparation journey. Only one word, huh?
Exciting.
Exciting?
Yeah.
Let's take the exciting word. This is really inspiring, by the way. Dream travel destination.
It would be Paris.
Paris?
Yeah, it's close, so I think I'll be able to go.
And after you're done with the semester, right? Great. So, now move on to the next question. The first thing you will plan to do when you arrive or when you land in London?
I've heard a lot about their parks and lakes, so maybe I'll check that out.
Got it. I think someone Instagram is getting flooded with all the best destination, and someone is getting followers, I guess, right? Okay. Now, listening to music while preparing, while studying?
I did. Yeah, sometimes I do, but when I'm focusing too much on something, then I don't, because then that music will play in your exams as well. Yeah.
Got it. So you have to maintain that balance.
Yeah.
Balance, right. if you could have it, if you could have dinner or have dinner with any famous person, who would it be?
I actually love Taylor Swift, so maybe I would have dinner with her and discuss about her song theories with her.
Nice. Hopefully you will get a chance. Let's keep our finger crossed. Great. One Indian dish you will miss the most when you are going abroad.
There are so many. I mean,
Name one. It can be.
Rajma rice, I think. I miss them.
Got it. But I think there are Indian restaurants which can provide you that, right?
Yeah, but I don't think they have the taste that I have at home, but
Mama's magic. Got it. Favorite festival that you like to celebrate?
oh, it's Holi.
It's Holi. Yeah. So you are, I think, very playful, fun-loving, right? Okay, got it. Preferred study method, group study or solo study?
Like group study is if you're working on group projects, yeah, but I like to study alone, I think. Because it's very distracting.
Right. And I feel that you're a focused person as well. That's why you're solo study. Got it. A must-have item you are taking with you to the UK?
My journal, I think I'll also write in my flight as well that I'm going, and I write it in every...
Are you a blogger by any chance?
Yeah, I vlog on my channel.
That's really
So
great.
I also take my tripod, yeah, that too.
That's really great. Now, most important, continental or Chinese or any other cuisines you like?
I like pasta, so I would say Italian.
Okay, got it.
Hopefully I can go.
One piece of advice you give to other Indian students who are preparing for IELTS?
I have given so many advice, but one final...
Got it. Not a problem. So, students, now let's conclude it and let's give her the best wishes. So, aap log, or if you are still watching this video, write all the best in the comment section, and she will definitely read in the comment section.
reply as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashwita.
Thank you.